All right. Well, welcome to ApexInvesting.com. My name is Daryl Martin. This is an Apex Sniper webinar series talking about thriving in 2021. And just a reminder, if you're new to the webinar, you're watching a replay, you can always join us at ApexInvesting.com/bootcamp for free for 30 days with no credit card. The second month is only $1. So we do that because we believe in letting you try before you buy, letting you get it down, understand it, see how well it works. And we have tons of material, but we get you going fast. So make sure to go to apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. Tell your friends about it. If you like the system, let them know about it. And let's see here. We got disclosures. There's risk involved in investing. Know what you're doing before you do it. This is my P&L from today. So rocked it this morning. And who was in the elite room this morning? So did y'all get some of those calls I made? So yeah. Great calls. Thank you. You're welcome. So I'll show you just a few of those, but I was calling out simplicities and LREs. And let me rewind the tape here. I know it's calling out some LREs here earlier in the morning. When it came down, pulled up. An LRE is when you have a simplicity short. So which means you have both of them are angling down. And then it breaks the low of the next bar. So both are angling down and both are the same color. So they're both red. They're both angling down. These two lines right here. And they're both the same color. Let me get the pointer. Make it easier for you to see. Hold on one second. And so when both of these lines are angling down, and then the next bar breaks the low, then we go short. But one of the big calls that we do that a lot of traders focus on are actually the LREs instead of the simplicities because they have exact targets. And so like when it pulls up to within 2 points of the solid line on a short, then you go short for 10 points. So this one would go down to 14,321. Right down to here. So and that would have been 10 points made. And that's how you take advantage of that. And then we go forward. Goes back down. Gives a simplicity. There's an LRE. Takes another short. And then looking over here, waiting for a simplicity. Comes down. Touches back. And gets another short. So those are the LREs. And then if I fast forward to the open, so we go over here. Now we're at 935. Both are angling up. Oh, that one's sideways, I guess, at that moment. Then waiting for them both to be angling up and then break the high. There we go. They're both angling up. It breaks the high. And that takes off. Goes up to, what level is that right there? Settlement. So you get close to settlement, take your profit. If you didn't take it, eventually you would have hit settlement. And then if you didn't take it when it hit settlement, then when it closed below the solid line, then you would have exited. And that also is an angling down, so that's a short. Right there. And it pulled back. Would give an LRE. Keeps going. Gives another LRE. Keeps going. Gives 10 points right there. And then would have been out when it closes above the solid line. Does that make sense to everybody? like what a LRE is, what simplicity is. You can't just take all of them. That's why it's really good to be in the room, because I have a little more experience reading the markets. So, and then something I wanted to fast forward here to the end of the day, because this happened, and this is, I wanted to just point out this reminder. Let's see, where was that? There it is, right here, okay? There was this long simplicity going on. They gave another long simplicity, and this happened right here. I mean, like, in the last second, it flew up and flew all the way down here. I mean, it was like a crash. Yeah, this definitely runs on NT8. So it crashed down. And I mean, it did it like in a split second. I know these are 30-second bars, but what I'm telling you is the movement from like here to here, down to here, took about 3 seconds. Okay? So, if you would have just not had a stop and just been waiting to hit the button, you would have got hammered. So what is the rule on where we keep our hard stop at whenever we're trading? Like a hard stop meaning the stop, you don't keep it at the solid line. You close it if it goes below the solid line. If it closes below the solid line. So yeah, so you wait until it crosses the entry point, but then you keep it 5 points behind the solid line, the actual physical stop itself. Okay? And then if it closes below it, you know, have your chart trader on over here, and then just hit close. And that'll cancel the order and close the position out. But you wouldn't have been able to do it fast enough when this happened. So that 5-point stop would have saved you from, you know, losing another like probably 10 or 15 points. So there often is a pop algo at 1550 that Jeff points out. It's like we have one at 828 or 928. So that's an area to be aware of when you're trading. There's a 928 one where we have a dark zone there, so no big deal. But 1550, there's often an algo that makes the market pop, and you want to be careful. So good for bringing that up. But that was just a perfect example of why you want to have that hard stop in. And we don't keep it right at the solid line again, because a lot of times it'll come in, it'll touch the solid line and keep going on, touch the solid line, keep going on. You know, what I'll even do is when it comes down like this, I'll put it like a tick below, because there so many times, even though it closed below it, I'll put, especially when the wick's not that big, I'll put it a tick behind there, and this thing just turned around and kept going. Okay, does that make sense? Like it came down, it goes below, I grab my stop, I move it up to where it's just a tick below, and then if it turns around, great. If it doesn't, I'm out like a couple ticks extra. Does that make sense to everybody? Just some tips that I do sometimes, how I stay in them. When it's like, well, close it below the solid line. It's like, well, yeah, it did, but there was like a 1 tick or 2 tick wick or whatever. You know, I mean, I'll even do it on 3 or 4 tick wicks, because a lot of times it'll just keep going. So yeah, I talked about that in Sharpshooter. That's correct. But just a little gold nugget there that definitely can help pay for itself. Just knowing to do that and help you get another 5 or 10 points out of a simplicity trade. Let's do some, let me grab my chart, if I can get it to cooperate. There we go. All right, y'all want to do some sniper review? Scroll on back here. Let's get, there we go, to the dark zone here. And then again, I recommend that what I'm doing right now that you do yourself every day, like literally recommend you doing it every day. It will make you a better trader. It'll make you faster at identifying what's going on. Is just go through and review the chart bar by bar. I think this is better than replay. And Shalon said it is a game changer when I started doing it daily. So you go through literally this, you click on the chart and then you just go one bar at a time. And like, should I take this? Should I not take it? You know? All right, so we got a elevator right here. Do we take this elevator? No. Okay, I agree. Why do we not take it? Too late in the trend. There you go. And just by doing this, you start seeing things like 2-3 bar chop and coil chop and levels, and this is the fastest way to train your eye. It is not the fastest way to train your eye just to trade live or to trade replay. I like this because it's like one bar and you can stop and you can look, and it just teaches you how to get that muscle memory down. All right, right here, we got a short. Can we take it? It's an ETX. Yep. What else is it? It's also an HD, so it's an HD ETX. So we take it? That's not settlement, that's just a 0.25 dev. It's a double play. And it's oscillating in that area, so I would take it. Being a double setup. If that was into settlement, I wouldn't take it. If it was even a round settlement, I wouldn't take it. Okay, we got a short here. Do we take this? Yeah, that's the main reason. I'm glad you pointed that out, Shalon. That last trade went through the dev multiple times. So to show it, like, it wasn't like it first just came down to the dev and was about to bounce off. I mean, it had been oscillating through it over and over and over again. And that's something to keep in mind. No rules, no trade. That's right. We got an FTX long here. Do we take this? Has OPR on it, but low DR. So we stay away from it. Okay. We're glad we did. I missed that one. All right, we got a short TX there. Do we take that one? Nope. Pass. What about right here? Can we take this long? Got an ODD. So we can take it. We have an ODD. So oscillation detector. So the difference with that, it's an ODD with a paw on it. That's also coming off the dev and the mini magnet. And what that is when this is 85% of the previous number with a lower low. So second, that's first pullback right there. Second, or actually this is the first pullback. This is the second pullback. So on the second pullback or after, you can take an ODD. So we take it. There we go. There's 2 wins for the day. All right, we got a short. Do we take it? If you're saying yes, why would you say yes? All right. Some people are getting it. We got an ETX with OPR on it. We got that paw there, and it's within 2 ticks of the ZOI. It's off a double ZOI. Y'all see it? So I know we got a lot of notes to begin with. Just wanted to make sure everybody caught up and was able to see it. Yeah, it's also coming off double zeros. That's a great point, Mark. So there we go. Yeah, you got a rule of 3. You got a paw, 2 ZOIs. And it gets us. Now, if we want to measure if it really got us, we can always go over here and go, did it go down? But that only went down a couple ticks. So that one got us. All right. But was it a valid trade? Yes. Are we going to lose some? And this is so huge. We're going for probability. Does that mean that every trade wins? Or does that mean that a majority win? Majority. There we go. Which means some are going to lose. All right, we got a short here. Do we take it? Got a short here. Do we take it? Yeah, we also would have been in a very long simplicity in this process. That's one thing to point out. Y'all know when I showed that simplicity chart earlier, and I called that long simplicity there at the beginning of the day? This is in that long trend. So you probably wouldn't have taken the trade if you were in the simplicity trade. But I'd like to look at it separately just so you can, sharpen your eyes. Sean's like, that's why I didn't take that last loss this morning. It's because we were in the simplicity long. All right, so no trade. Oh, there we go. All right, we got a short here. Now we got a lot going on. We got an ETX, we got ODD, but where are we? You're right at settlement. What does the market like to do at settlement? Chop around. You got a bunch of... Look to your left also. Somebody pointed this out, which is really good. Look at all these crocodile eyes right over here. So we got a lot of crocodile eyes to the left. And we're coming off settlement. So do we want to take that trade off settlement? It's saying there's a big fight over there on the left side at that price level going down. So it's going to be a big fight for it to make it down. So I would say no. Anybody disagree? All right, so y'all say no. All right. That one reversed. That settlement thing can save your butt. Okay? And those crocodile eyes can save you too. So, like I said, I hope, one of my goals when I do these webinars is to give y'all, hopefully a couple gold nuggets on every webinar where you pick up something that helps make you a better trader. All right, we got a long TX here. Nope. Invalid, pass, no setup. No trade. Of course it takes off. That's okay. All right, we got a short here. Can we take this short? It's an HD short, which is good, but you got 2 to 3 bar chop, so you are lowering your probability by taking it. Okay? So, I can see why somebody would take it because of the HD, but I can also see why you shouldn't take it because of the 2 to 3 bar chop. Does that make sense? Yeah, low DR doesn't matter on HD. It only matters on FTXs and double TXs that are range bound. So it would have worked out, but we want to go for those probabilities. All right, so what do we got here? Coil chop, down, up, down. We don't take trades, most trades, in coil chop. All right, we got a long TX. Invalid trade, no validity to it. We got a long TX there. I skipped one that was a coil chop, so no coil chop trade. Okay, what about here? Do we have a trade here? Some of y'all said no. I'm going to let you look at the chart a little longer. Not HD. HD would be not making as low of a low. Yeah, it's an ETX. And a mini magnet on a mini magnet. You'll see it? And it's profitable. Now we got a TX short. Can we take this TX short? Got low DR, so not because of the FTX, but is there another reason why we could take it? HD, there you go. Very high HD. Okay. Now what should you do right here? Get out of the trade at break even. When it coil chops after your entry, exit the trade. It went on to eventually win, but again, we want to put probabilities in our favor. We don't take trades in coil chop. If coil chop happens after a trade, get out of it at break even. All right, we got a TX short here. Nope. Against ODD, and it's really not a trade that's any of our rules. What is the one trade you can take against ODD? It's not an SLZ, it's not a DTX, it's not an ETX. It's not a filter TX. Not a TBS. Not an elevator or ETX. Not an SLZ. Not a third bar swing. Yeah, I've listed off most of them. There's pretty much one left. Not a double TX. You're not going to have OD after an OD. HD is the one sniper setup you can take after a ODD trade. Eventually you got to get it, right? After you just list off all the trades. And the one trade against HD is ODD, that's right. Alright, so that was a little nugget for some of y'all. Alright, we got a short here. Do we take it? Look closely. Got an ETX with OPR. And off a good resistance level. Okay, so we take it. And it wins. Alright. Yeah, I'd still take it without OPR. It's a valid ETX. I also like that it was off the top of that range. The OPR just made it more like a 2.5. Almost a 3 because you really had 2 mini magnets right above it and a paw, so it had a rule of 3 above it, so that would have made it a 3 trade. Yeah, one of the mini magnets is from the 30 tick. So that 30 tick mini magnet, a 10 tick mini magnet, and a paw. And coming off top of a range. Yeah. So that had a lot going for it. So those who stick to lane 3 definitely would have taken that trade. Alright, we got a long here. You took it? Good, Sean. Do we take it? Nope, doesn't follow any of our rules, and we're in 2 to 3 bar chop. Got a long here. Got a valid ETX again. I would call this a lane 2. But you do have double mini magnets below you, but it's a lot of clusters to the left. You got crocodile eyes going on. So I personally wouldn't like this trade. I mean, we're 1 bar out of being 2-3 bar chop. And we got crocodile eyes right there and right there. So now it could ride to the top of the range, but again, it's got 2 clusters it's got to get through to get there. So let's see what it does. Ah! I came down, it bounced back up. You would have got a break even on the trade. Or you would have lost. I think this is a good point to bring up. If it comes down like that and it doesn't hit the stop loss, okay, it comes back up to break even though that wasn't technically coil chop, get out. Okay, does that make sense? If it comes down and it doesn't hit the stop loss, and maybe it's not coil chop, but it comes back up, get out of the trade. You just got lucky by a tick. Yeah, Sean's like, there's too many times I've stayed in thinking now it's going to go. All right. So we're up 4, down 1. Oh, there we go. We got a TX. Can we take it? Coil chop. No trade. Triple clusters at that. Yeah, glad we avoided that trade. Alright, we got a TX short. Getting a lot of yeses and nos. It is not an ETX. That is a dynamic magnet on a wall. Coming into the bottom of a range. The mini magnet that basically started at the same level as another mini magnet and a wall, or not a wall, but a, what is that, green ice? Or eye block? Crocodile eyes. I'd avoid this trade. Also, what did we just... We had ODD. We didn't have an ODD trade, but we had ODD. Right? 78%. So I'd avoid this trade. It just doesn't have enough saying do it and has a lot saying don't. And looks like that was a good choice. All right, we got a short here. Can we take this short? Getting a few no's. It's an ET. It's not an ETX. It is an HD trade. But you got crocodile eyes. So you got those, see those clusters right below it? I mean, it's bouncing off some strong levels. I like that. I like that it's HD. I'm not a big fan of the crocodile eyes. So I'd say it's at best a level 2 trade. And then, I mean, I would look at it's probably going to test the mini magnets. I'd be a little nervous with those clusters. So now, if this was an LRE, like Shalon's pointing out, then I definitely would be taking it. The little Pac-Man, those are actually small Apex Infinity logos. Those are part of the divergence training. Alright, so it works out, but it would have been an iffy one. So if it was an LRE, which it was, I mean, you'd have to look at the simplicity chart at the same time. It's just hard to put both of them up. And I got it, then I would take it. Yeah, it was an LRE also. So for that reason, I would have taken it. I think somebody said they took it because of that as well. But that's sort of unfair because you can't see it on the chart with that we're looking at right now. By itself, I wouldn't have. With the LRE, I would have. Oh, we got a X right there. Can we take that trade? It's an ETX. Not quite an ODD because it didn't make a lower low. But it is a valid ETX. The target is before the level. So we are going into that strong level, but we are going to take profit before we hit it. So I would take this one because we do have the room and it is an ETX. We take profit right there. Technically, I would take it a tick earlier. I like range-bound TXs. So, the ETX makes it all the better. So that gives us, what, like 6 and 1 so far? Alright, right there. That's a short. Can we take it? Nope, no trade at all. No, not a setup in any way, shape, or form. The way I'm looking at this, if you're new, is I'm looking at the bottom. I see the detectors, and that's where I know there's a trade setup. potential trade setup. Okay, what about here? We got any kind of trade? Nope. Whoops. What about right there? Any trade? Nope, we got Quill Chop. So no trade. What about right here? What do we got? Letting everybody have a chance to look. It's not an ETX, because there's no mini magnet, pause, EOI, nothing like that around it. You got ODD divergence, you got DR divergence, and you have OPR on it. So OPR with ODD. So I love when you get a trade with OPR on it. So I'm going to take it. It wins. That puts us at 7-1. What about right here? Any trade? Nope. All right, and that brings us to 11 o'clock at 7-1. So we took a loss, which can mentally mess you up. I mean, we took it. We won 2, we lost 1. Which, if you're not doing LREs and stuff, I mean, 1 loss can wipe out 2 wins, right? So you're back at break even, and your mind can get all jacked up. But if you kept trading, I mean, we had 5 more wins after that in a row. If you just followed the system and didn't let yourself spiral. Yeah, the 1 loss that we took, if you were trading simplicity, you wouldn't have taken that loss. Because you would have been in it long anyway. But it worked out. I mean, there were trades that didn't work that we didn't take, and there were trades that did work that we didn't take. Like always. And you just have to wait for the best setups and really keep your eyes sharp. Do y'all see why I talk about going back and doing this replay helps get your eyes there? I mean, who in here thought we didn't have a trade when we had one? Because you didn't see something. I mean, it's not odd for that. I'm just saying, like, you know, honestly, like, who in here, like, missed a trade or maybe even thought we had a trade when we didn't? Either way. So, and that's how you do it. I mean, right there, going through. I mean, it builds your chart time. What gets you experience in trading is chart time, and it's not just live chart time. It's sitting there and looking and looking and looking and looking. And this, I mean, it takes 30 or 40 minutes, but you do this every day. How much better are you going to be in a month if you're getting where your eyes looking for ETXs, looking for ODDs, looking for 2 to 3 bar chop, looking for crocodile eyes? So, I mean, it's one of those things you're done trading and you want to be done, but, I mean, come back in, you know, the afternoon, come back in the evening and just stop and spend 30 or 40 minutes and just run through the first hour and a half. And, I mean, it will turn around your trading so much. And maybe a trade loses and you can go back and you can look and go, is there anything I missed? Oh, I didn't see those crocodile eyes. Oh, I didn't see it was right at settlement. You know, things like that. So it really sharpens it. And if you want to make this your profession where you're doing this for a living, then you want to do everything you can. You know, I mean, I get up. It's funny, Chris was over yesterday and we was talking about my schedule. I'm like, I get up, I trade in the morning, then I go back to bed, then I watch some TV, Then I shoot guns or whatever. So hang out with kids, family. Um, but I mean, I get up and I'm done at pretty much 11 every day. So, but I spend a lot of time reading the charts. And this is how you can speed up your time. And I don't care if you saw it live. It's a whole different thing to be able to stop and look. All right, so did y'all get some stuff out of today? Awesome. Okay, well, we got a webinar scheduled for next week, so make sure you take advantage of that. And like I said, I had a great day. I hope y'all had a great day. I hope y'all learned something. If you didn't, if you lose, don't lose the lesson. And again, if you like what we're doing, please share. Tell people about it. We try to keep our costs low. So we really depend a lot on people referring. And, again, it's free, 30 days, apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. No credit card required with full access to our Silver Elite membership. All right, y'all have a great day, a good evening, and I will see y'all tomorrow.